This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Friday, August 4th, 2023. I'm Alex Brown. The Indiana Department of Correction is moving ahead with plans for a new $1.2 billion prison facility on the site of the existing Westville Correctional Facility. Commissioner Christina Regal says the 4,200-bed facility will combine and replace the WCF and the Indiana State Prison in Michigan City.
The annual operating savings alone of closing the Indiana State Prison would create a payback of less than 20 years on this project, and we avoid nearly $400 million in capital asks.
Construction on the new prison is slated to begin later this summer and take about 4 years to complete. Regal said about 416 people currently work at the Indiana State Prison, which is about 15 miles away from the new site, and no jobs will be lost as a result of the consolidation. Evansville-based Atlas Van Lines says it has furloughed some employees in the Vanderburgh County city. The moving company said in a statement to IIB the move is part of an effort to restructure its Evansville-based companies, but would not confirm an exact number of affected employees. The Indianapolis-based National FFA organization and Minorities in Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Related Science in Atlanta have signed a memorandum of understanding to grow diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in agriculture. The organizations said the partnership will lead to a more diverse talent pipeline. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
For 25 years, we've had the honor of telling the story of Indiana business. More than 1,300 shows, 8,000 interviews. We've traveled from Valparaiso to Versailles, Fort Wayne to Fort Branch, and everywhere in between. And we are just getting started. Our team is passionate about Indiana business because your story is worth telling. Join us every week as we travel the state to bring you Indiana's story. Inside Indiana Business, 25 years and counting.
A long-planned coal-to-diesel facility in Spencer County has hit a major roadblock. IIB's Kate Sharon has details.
The Indiana Department of Environmental Management informed Delaware-based Riverview Energy this week that its permit to construct the $2 billion facility in the town of Dale has expired. The project was first announced in 2018, and Riverview first received the permit from the IDEM in June 2019. The company was granted an extension of the permit, which set a deadline to begin construction by June 2022. IDEM said staff from its Office of Air Quality visited the site on June 10, 2022, and found that some prep work had been done at the site, but since that time, no additional construction-related activities have commenced. The company also stated that it had not entered into any binding contracts related to the project, according to IDEM, which led to the determination that the permit has expired. Riverview Energy did not respond to a request for comment from Inside Indiana Business. The project was the subject of several legal complaints by opponents, who called the ruling a victory for area residents. IDEM did note that Riverview would have 18 days from issuance of the letter, dated August 1st, to challenge the ruling. The company would also be able to reapply for a new permit. Kate Sharon, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
When the Bloomington-based not-for-profit Dimension Mill launched its first investment fund 3 years ago, it did so in hopes of spurring investment into local startups. That effort, called the Flywheel Fund, this week closed its fourth fund, which totals $1.08 million from 52 individual investors. The program has been so successful that the organization, popularly known as The Mill, recently launched 2 regional Flywheel Fund chapters around the state, and it plans to launch another larger investment fund this fall to be known as Turbine. A proposed multi-neighborhood project in Bloomington could create 6,000 units of diversified housing for a city strapped for affordable and available housing. The initial proposal would create 5 new neighborhoods with everything from single-family homes to a potential 10-story apartment building. Bloomington Planning and Transportation Director Scott Robinson says the project will help fill a need for the city.
A lot of our market right now is largely rental market, focused mostly towards Indiana University students, but there is needs for other housing in the community, so we're really looking to make sure that this proposal is very diverse in the types of housing it's offering.
Robinson said the number of units and stories will likely be pared down and will be reflected in an updated proposal to be presented on August 14th. Pacers Sports and Entertainment Vice President Danny Lopez is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.